And checking, waiting for it. And it says we are live. It is loading the screen. It is
Hey,
loading. Please load. All right, everyone,
please
please
load.
clap. All right. All right.
We're live?
All right, we are live.
All right, all right. Hello everyone. Welcome to the August 2020 anime podcast for Outpost 1018. How is everyone doing? I hope you all had a good month. I hope and I hope you're all doing well. Today, this month, we are covering Angel Beats. It has been a long time coming. It is a classic anime. Very well known and very well loved among long time fans of the medium. And yeah, we're long overdue to cover it. So here we are. Um, why don't everyone introduce yourselves?
I am Getsuryu or Josh.
I am, of course, Neo Tokyo Tempo.
Name's Lewis, but you got to call me Striker.
And well, the fourth guy. Oh,
Is me.
hey,
I
there
just
we
had to
go.
push the button to turn my microphone back on. Hey, it's RJ, otherwise known as Red Baron.
All right, sweet. So, a little overview on Angel Beats. So, Angel Beats is a show um, where the main characters, I am on the wrong page here. Hold on. Where,
They're trapped in purgatory.
yeah,
They're a
yeah.
bunch of young guys
Everyone,
trapped in purgatory.
sorry, I was just reading this name and trying to remember how this guy's name is
You mind if I
pronounced.
summarize it real quick? Okay, so it's basically about a group of youth, guys and gals that are trapped in purgatory due to regrets that they have in their life, and purgatory just happens to be in the form of high school. I almost didn't believe they were in purgatory until one of the characters, quote unquote, died and came back, because you can't die in that realm. You temporarily die, and it's painful as heck. And they're pitted against this girl named Angel at the beginning, and they call themselves, I believe, the constantly name changing Battlefront. They kept changing the name to something Battlefront over and over. But yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, basically, these people are fighting against Tenshi, who happens to be, well, I won't say she's necessarily human, but a lot of these people just have a lot of unsorted issues, on dreams that they didn't realize when they were alive, and so on. And well, they had to fight every night against her.
Yeah. And if they if they participate in class, because it's a mock high school, if they participate in class or their regrets in life become satisfied and they are now no longer living with the regret, they will disappear and nobody knows what happens to them after they disappear. Some of them mention that they get reincarnated, but they none of them like ever says that they know for sure. So,
You become a sea
uh,
slug.
yes, everyone becomes sea slugs. uh,
Yeah,
but no, they don't know for
Sea
sure.
flea, barnacles.
Yeah, they're scared of what happens after they disappear. So they are refusing to participate in class and rebelling against Angel, who we later know as Kanade, and who is the student council president and is trying to get them to participate in class so that they eventually disappear. and move on
Base-
to the next world or whatever.
Basically, they cross over.
Yes.
Alright, so I guess we should probably okay, that's fine. We should probably just talk about the sorry, sound design and
The
music and
sound.
everything. Yeah,
All
that's
right.
usually where we start, right?
We usually start on animation. We could
Oh
start
yeah,
on
no,
sound though.
yeah, let's do
It doesn't.
animation.
Oh,
I'm
okay.
tired. I am so tired. I've been awake since 8 a.m. and
Where
all right. Anyway, yeah,
somebody
animation.
get this man a coffee.
I
All
am
right.
drinking coffee. Thank you very much.
So, yeah, the animation in Angel Beats is I think it's a little bit of a mixed bag, but it's mostly
Yep.
on the positive.
I hated
Uh,
the eye animation.
Yeah, I'd say like animation during this period, um this came out in 2010, is well it's still
Mixed
in that
bag.
early stage of computer 2D animation where they haven't quite perfected it yet, and there is issues with awkward modeling and strange movement, but overall things tend to be fluid. The characters are expressive and they have nice looking character designs and all that.
Speaking of character, I want to throw something real quick. Yuri legit looks like a great value version of Haruhi Suzumiya. I don't know why. She
I wouldn't
reminds
I
me.
well no yeah so I understand. I kind of got a similar vibe too because there's these, but the thing is, it's the difference is the melancholy of Suzumiya was that was focused on one character. This is like focused on several characters and each of their individual problems.
Yeah, we could get into we could get into the characters a little bit later.
Hmm.
So now the backgrounds and the environments, they're pretty average, but that's mostly due to the setting. It's a high school. It's going to look like it looks like practically every other anime high school you've ever seen. Sometimes they go to other places like tunnels underneath the school and a factory where they're making weapons and ammunition. But those are rather Spartan and are not, and they more or less serve their purpose.
Yeah, I mean, it, it's very much exactly what you would think of, like, whenever you, like, think of anime. It looks exactly like the most average anime possible, but it's, like, super well done still. So it's like, that's the way that I would put it, where it does its job to a point that you understand what's going on. It's not going anything overboard. It's not giving you like sensory overload with anything. Um, but it's also not bland. It's very much your typical anime style, just done pretty well. So
I Now that being said, during the concert scenes when the band they made is playing, the animation quality suddenly gets a massive upgrade
yeah,
and appears to be animated at 24 frames a second.
yeah, they made the concerts like crazy, and like whenever all the tickets are flying up in the air, like it's really good. There's a couple fights too where you can see they up the animation quality, but I think that that's actually a really good sign of just money management and understanding what your studio should be focusing on and doing. Because we've seen so many animes where like you can tell they focused on too much in one scene, and then you go to the next and you're like, well, now it's lacking and now it doesn't catch you. so the important things that they want you to jump and what like your attention fully on, uh, you get that visual cue basically of like, okay, this is really important. Oh, this is really catchy. Oh, this is what I want more of. And I think that that's all really good things.
Yeah,
Can I add
of
something real
course,
quick?
of course.
All right, I'm gonna be honest with you. The animation regarding Kennedy and the way she transforms her weapons, it's actually very appropriate considering that she is a bit of a she has this angelic feeling to her.
Mm.
Especially the fit weapon that turns into a lotus. I mean, when they were trapped and she had to use all the weapons at her disposal with the guidance of Yusuru. Well, mm, I'm gonna say I was pretty impressed in that area.
Yeah, I found TK, the character that tends to speak English and do a lot of dancing.
Break dancing, yeah,
Yeah,
TK,
I
one
I
of my
found
favorite characters, legit.
I found his animation to be quite eye-catching. He's always flowing and moving in strange and seemingly unnatural ways.
So I saw this whenever I was like whenever it first came out. Like that was the first time I ever saw it. And I will tell you that every single one of my friends loved TK and like loved the animation around him. So like that was always a thing from the start. That was
TK
like
was
one of the
TK
best
was
things.
easily TK was easily one of the best characters in that show.
Oh yeah. And we'll
Not
get
gonna
into
lie.
that, but like visually like he was just always funny and just there was also like the slow motion parts and just like some of like the outrageous things from like them getting fired into the ceiling from them like getting like bashed out windows and like you see them flying across the like all of those animations where it's just like very plain and boring and then just like this giant wrecking ball comes and you're like wait a minute that doesn't fit. So like it's very much it does what it's supposed to because it's supposed to feel like, oh, this is just an ordinary school. And then everything around them that they're creating is extraordinary. And that's whenever you see those like visual pops. And I think that that's where the animation really thrives between living between those two worlds.
Dude, one of my personal favorite animation gags. I'm gonna be honest with you. That motherfucking rocket chair in that one episode. That was the best thing in that
That
anime.
was
Fun
that
ride.
was the funniest shit too. Is
Oh my
like
gosh.
as soon as the rocket chair hits, it's like this like melancholy song starts playing.
I
It was
liked
the closing song of the show.
I liked how I liked how like in the last one they asked this one kid to ask Kanade out and and he does and she's completely open. It was Uyama. She was completely open to the idea. She was like, "Where do you want to go?" or something like that. And he still reacted like he was straight up rejected.
Yeah, in the English version, she says, like, this isn't the place to be at. Like, this isn't the time to be asking me that. Like, just like this, like, you can ask me later, kind of thing.
Mabo
Yeah.
tofu, mabo tofu.
Yeah. But no, like, I just love how like it showed him, and then it jumped to the other character, and he's like, ah, he got rejected, and then just fired up into the air with the spinning one.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh man. Yeah.
But anyway, I think does anyone else have a take on animation?
I do. I like the animation during the battle scenes, except for one episode in particular, which I thought was kind of cringy. The Shadow episode, where they had, was their name Kanabe? Is that Angel's the actual name?
Yeah.
They had Kanabe fight the Shadows, and it was just like swoosh, 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 swoosh. She's just slashing in front of her, and you can
Oh,
tell she's. Is it the foreground? That's the front, right? Is that or is it the back? What's foreground's the front of the background, right?
Yeah.
No, foreground is front.
Yeah. I said in front of the background. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
you just have her moving in the foreground while there's shadows doing nothing in the background. I'm just like, is this a really bad like video game cutscene?
I think that was more of a visual gag than
Yeah.
anything.
Yeah. It was supposed to be like this, like, oh, I'm just powerful and just can just walk through all of them, and like they're just staring at her like I don't know what to do. Like that's kind of the idea. Um,
Oh, you mean when
basically
that episode where Kanda is just attacking the
the
shadows
shadows
left
and
and
just
right?
clearing
Like she
through them
doesn't
like
give a
it's
shit.
nothing.
Like she doesn't give a shit.
Yeah, and I mean
Fucking
like
Canada,
there's
man.
a few characters that just like cleared through them with like nothing. Like all the again we're gonna bring up TK, but like whenever all of them were on the stairwell and he just goes spinning on his head down shooting all of them, like yeah, they're not supposed to be a strong enemy. They're supposed to just be a enemy that kind of regenerates themselves and then keeps coming
Yeah.
back in full
They're
force.
just an overwhelming enemy.
Yeah.
They can't possibly hope to fight them forever.
Hmm.
Um yeah. All right, let's move on to the sound design and music.
Oh my god, let me get this out of my head.
All right.
The intro, fucking banger. The soundtrack, I'll be honest with you, certified bangers. Most of them.
Mm,
Personally,
I
I'm not.
wouldn't I personally wouldn't call the intro a banger. I'd
Mhm.
call it
Right.
very good.
Yeah.
But I when I think the word banger, I think of something like very energetic and enthusiastic, whereas this
Yeah.
intro had a certain somber ambiance to
Mhm.
it,
I would
which
say like Crow Song would be a banger.
Yeah.
Alchemy
Exactly.
would be a banger. The intro
The,
was really good. Yeah.
it really
yeah,
was.
Yeah. So
It, but
but
yeah.
yeah,
Also, last song was also very emotional.
mhm. Yeah. Just
The piano. You know what's interesting regarding the eye catch, the note happens to be the note A from a piano. That's
yep.
it. Just an A, and that's it.
I mean the
Yeah,
commercial cards.
yeah, dude.
Yeah, I found that to be a little bit underwhelming.
Well, what is considered? It's it was interesting to say the least.
I
But
like
then
the idea
again,
of
we
just
tend to go ahead.
I just like the idea of like having like because it was called Angel Beats, just having like a heartbeat because it really does kind of like foreshadow the ending, which we don't really need to reveal, but it really
Mm.
does foreshadow the ending by saying Angel Beats
Yeah.
and then having the
I
heartbeat.
think I don't I guess I shouldn't complain too much considering like how how rare good commercial cards are in anime nowadays.
Hmm.
Because you know shows like Trigun and Cowboy Bebop and whatever other like cool '90s show always had like really cool stuff and for the commercial cards, and now they just fade into commercial.
Yeah, but yeah, no, it just uh, it was I enjoyed the entire soundtrack. Um, like I've listened to all of the band's songs. I've watched the entire. So the thing that I actually really enjoyed was that this band actually toured after the release of the anime for a year with Lisa and
Marina.
Marina. Yeah. Um, and just their entire concerts were just amazing. The entire album was just. It was a better rock album than most other rock albums in America. Whenever you're comparing it to Japanese, like you would think like, oh, this is just a band that was created around an anime. It's not going to be that great. Like there's just going to be a bunch of filler songs with, the main songs throughout the anime. But it was a really, really well done album with two amazing singers. So it's
Mm,
just to have that and to have that level come out of a show where they were filling up like arenas is just it's absolutely amazing to see that come out of a show where if you were to just show like one of your friends, yeah, it's all in Japanese and they'd still call you a weeb, but at the same time they'd be like, hey, this is actually really good though. So
yeah. I I uh I'm not one to really particularly like much rock music made after the year 1990.
all right.
Um, but yeah, I found the Rock Band to be pretty enjoyable. Um, really more enjoyable than almost anything I've heard in the 2000s. Uh, but it's I guess that's not hard to do. I really don't like 2000s rock.
All right. Yeah, no, it's just
Uh,
I enjoyed it.
Josh,
Yeah.
here's why I thought that the intro was actually really good. I was playing BeamNG, and I was driving at high speed, and I thought, why not play the song while I'm driving? And let me tell you something, it had like this feeling that you were gonna floor it, and it kept intensifying. And by the time you reached like 120 miles an hour, you absolutely made it. It just blew up.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
That's actually that's how I felt when I was listening to the intro, because honestly, a lot of these songs are really good, and I mean the soundtrack alone is just yeah.
yeah. I
Uh,
So we talked about the Rock Band quite a bit. What do you guys think of like some of the just normal show music that wasn't from the Rock Band?
oh,
um
the I did the piano theme since it's considering that the guy who also wrote Planet also did the music for it. He had the right ambience of depressive,
Hmm.
like all things considered. Since Jun Imeda was also the composer.
yeah.
Yeah,
It,
I actually like remember some of the tunes. So and I don't remember them because they're bad. So that it's I'd say like that stuff is like the non rock band stuff. It's decent.
one of
It's
the
better
things
than
that's
It's
mediocre.
passable,
yeah,
basically.
the one thing that I really like is a lot of the songs, like the reason why it's kind of like mediocre compared to like it could have been better. Um, a lot of them, if you listen to the entire rock album, they're pulling things from the rock album and they're playing those as like melancholy undertones of the thing.
Really.
Yeah, that's why it's
Yeah,
kind of
you're right.
weird because they're translating rock songs into a melancholy thing. So like things like whenever they were like humming my song at the end, like if you listen you can hear hints of like my song through it, you can hear hints of Thousand Enemies through it, Rain Song, like you can hear those little tidbits throughout it, and that's why it's to me so good.
So they basically interchange a lot of melodies throughout the whole
Yeah,
series.
yeah, it's
I, I noticed that when I was listening to 1000 Enemies, and
mhm,
it was the same as Hot Meal.
mhm, yeah. So there was a lot of that too. So if you think of that, then it enhances it in a little way, but at the same time, it's like you're limiting yourself. So by limiting themselves, it kind of played against them, but it also enhanced it because it made the people that were more in tune with like, oh my god, I love this song, I love like this album, it made those people like gravitate a little heavier.
Yeah. All right. Any more? Oh, what about the sound effects and stuff like that? Oh, what do you guys
I
have any
did
takes
not
on that?
I did not enjoy the sounds, the squishy sounds that happened during let's see. I can't remember what it was, but there's something creeping out. Or there's also stuff like where people would get like their head stomped in or something. Well, no, they wouldn't get their head stomped in, but you know what I mean. Like, I just didn't like the squishy sounds they use. But again, that's just animation.
They had a lot of more comedic deaths, was I think what you're referring to.
Yeah, and the sound effects were just I mean, it was funny when they had like the Tom and Jerry sound effects where like woo, like somebody falls. That's fine, but the squishy noises, it's just like ugh, like it's like it's like Mortal Kombat, for example, has noises that are like that, but they use like cabbages and stuff, so it's crunching noises, and the squishy noises aren't as bad. This was just like I don't know how to put it. Like the gore noises kind of bothered me. Other than that, it was okay.
Did it like gross you out?
Kinda.
What do I feel like the sounds remind you of Mortal Kombat? Did you have
Does
that?
Mortal
Just
Kombat
that-
make squishy noises?
Yeah.
Yeah. Just
Yeah, I guess I can see that. It didn't personally bother me. Actually, I'm actually surprised to have like heard someone like actually make a distinct take on the sound design, because none of it really pops into my head. I mean, they had a lot of like good footstep sound effects, and I guess the gun sound effects were okay, but I can't really
The
I,
rocket noises were also.
I can't really think of their gun sound effects as being distinct from gun sound effects in other shows.
they had a couple comedic sound effects that were great to me, and then just there was a lot of kill things, and just because you brought up the kill things, one of the funniest things to me was I watched it on Netflix, and like
same.
and it said PG, like TV PG, right? And then under it it said gore, and to just have gore next to PG is just the funniest thing that I could have thought. So
God damn.
Somebody is
So-
not doing their job properly.
Wait. This is a thing on Netflix.
No. Don't tell them. You're gonna ruin the fun.
this is a kids show.
Holy shit.
This is a kids show. It's not PG-13. It's
It's
PG.
a cartoon.
It's
It's a
Remember,
cartoon,
guys. Remember, guys. The Chinese cartoons for kids.
I just thought
Man.
I'd point that out. It's one of the funniest things ever.
Yeah.
Oh, and then there's the slicing noises.
Wait. So
Wow.
hold up. My annoying, close-minded boomer second grade teacher wouldn't let us watch Star Wars because it was PG and not G.
Mm-hmm.
But this is considered PG now.
Yeah, this is PG. As the blood photo pops up on my yep. This is PG.
Yeah. A house being burned down with children inside. I'm sorry. No. Children being murdered. Let's see. Drug addiction. Fucking the train derails. People stealing food from each other. I mean, shit. That's clearly child-friendly material, right
the lead
there.
singer hanging herself and having a killer performance. Yeah. No, I just thought that was amazing that I kept seeing PG come up and just seeing like gore right underneath it, and just I know that's a little bit of a tangent, but it's an amazing tangent. Anyway, I think we can move on to whatever's next. Probably
Characters.
characters.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna say that we just start with TK because he's the best, and then we work our way down. Because
TK had the greatest backstory out of all of them. Is very well developed character.
best developed. I can't remember because I watched it in English and Japanese. If they brought up, or it could just be like my memory, just being like really foggy. That they brought up and said that like the entire thing that he lived for was like a good fight and a good dance, and then like that was the reason he disappeared.
You know,
I missed how he
did it-
died.
How
Oh,
did
good.
it work in how did his character work in English? Because in Japanese he would like say something in Japanese and then follow it
So-
with a nonsense English phrase.
Everything.
he's-
So it's even funnier in English
yeah, he would
because
say it. He looked like if I went to California, I'd probably find dudes like him on Santa Cruz's beach. He'd be like, dude, yo, totally not cool. It's like, hey man, he talked like that. It was funny.
So actually, what's amazing is the Japanese version that you were listening to. That's the English version too.
Yeah,
Oh, so they just use the
They
same
just used the
audio.
same audio. So
Yeah.
it was all nonsense, and like instead of like it's like, yeah, we don't understand him because he's speaking English, and then it was just nonsense English. They're like, yeah, we don't understand why he's saying that. Like nothing he says makes sense. He just keeps
Dude.
calling himself TK. That's it. Like
Yeah, to this day, we don't know why he's called TK. Nobody at the Triple S knows.
yeah, he just calls himself TK. So
Okay, I'm gonna.
How did he die again? Hold up. How did he die again? And how was he able to resolve it? I forgot that.
I don't think we ever find out.
yeah, it was just
I
I
know.
think it was like like his fight. That was pretty much it. Yeah. Like he enjoyed dancing. He got to dance. He
Yeah.
enjoyed his life.
I'm guessing he died and then he slicked up, snapped his neck, or some shit like that. Because I have seen people who I've seen people videos of people breakdancing and then their neck fucking snaps at a 90-degree angle while they were trying to do the head slide.
But no,
It just
he's just the best character. We can just end it there. Oh yeah.
yeah,
So
Yui is the most annoying. Yui is the most annoying, but her backstory is actually one that gives you you relate to because she gets run over by a car and then she becomes paralyzed.
mhm. And it's just
The
her wanting to get like to experience life.
yeah,
Yeah.
basically she didn't want to be a burden on anybody.
Yeah, and she's like,
Uh,
I want to be the singer. I want to be the singer. Oh, I want to play baseball. I
I
want to
want to
do
be
this. I
that.
want to do this.
I
Oh my
want
god.
I want to do a German suplex.
Yeah.
Let me tell you something.
Yeah.
That episode was easily the best one for you of Yui.
Yeah.
I do like how her mind was full of television. She just wanted to do everything that she saw on the television because she couldn't move for so many years.
Let's do professional wrestling. Like just oh my god.
But
Like
I want to do a five player shuffle like Diego Maradona while doing cocaine.
yeah, she's definitely one of the better characters. Too. Like she was annoying, but like she was that like relief comedy kind of annoying, and I loved her character even if like others hate her.
Say
Yeah.
Yeah.
How about Yuri?
Yuri Takamura, the head of the Triple S, or as I call her, or as I call, or as like
I thought she was okay. Like I think she actually grew. At first she was kind of weird, and then she grew. And at first she was jealous. I mean, she had like a hint of jealousy towards main character and I forgot her name, Angel. I'll just call her Kanade. Yeah, she had a tiny bit of jealousy towards the main character in Kanade, but she just immediately was just like that's just a sign of maturity. Like, whatever. Okay, so, can you get her to help us with this thing? And then he brings her over to their side.
Yeah. She was Yuri is a very ambitious girl. She definitely has a commanding presence. She
she's basically like a cool older sister. Like she's the
Yeah.
one. She's that one character that wants to look after you because she failed to protect her siblings from a certain incident.
Yeah. It's funny that you should that in the beginning you mentioned her being similar to
Haruhi Suzumiya.
yeah, because she's I wouldn't say she looks like her in any way, shape, or form.
No, no, but you know,
Haruhi is one of her biggest defining character trait that's like immediately obvious besides her being a little nuts is that she's extremely ambitious and that she'll do anything to to
to reach
to
your goals.
yeah, good or bad.
I did, it wasn't exactly the. I actually said that it wasn't that direct, but it was certainly influenced in a way regarding her character design.
We
And so,
can't say that was influenced unless we have like the writer of the show
mm,
saying that that was an influence, but it definitely is it the similarity is definitely there. um I found Yuri's backstory to be quite compelling. uh she was burned alive in a fire along with her two sisters
three,
and her or three siblings, her biggest regret was that she couldn't protect them.
basically,
Yeah.
she failed. She had this feeling of failure, and well, at the end, it really it sorts. Well, let's just say that in the end, it things go well.
Yeah. She just wanted like the reason why she was the main leader was she was like I need to protect all these people, and that
Yeah.
came from her past life. Um, I thought her character was well developed, but I never really enjoyed her because it always felt like she wants to be the main character, but isn't. Like that's how like it always felt, especially near the end whenever she's dealing with the shadows and then like going off on her own. She's like everyone needs to group up together, except me. I'm gonna go do the solo mission, and then it's very odd that like it's like she's the one that has to go do those
Yeah,
things.
that is pretty odd, especially since she ordered everyone to never travel alone.
Yeah. So there was a lot of things like that where she felt like she needed to do things alone, even though she had a full team around her. I mean, there was also things like the baseball tournament where like she's like, if you lose, I'm gonna torture you, kind of thing, and like I'm gonna give you like these horrible punishments, and uh, she's a very odd character, and she's very necessary throughout the entire show, but I've never thought of her as like my favorite. So,
There was also what's his name? Fuji Eri Shina, who was the chick, who was the blue hair ninja girl.
yeah,
Uh,
Eri.
she is kind of like TK, where she is a very quirky character, but she doesn't really get very much development.
Yeah, like she said, all she does is concentrate on her skills, balancing shit, or she's checking out a lot of she's working on her, what are they called again? Those plushy
She
things.
Yeah,
yeah, she really likes like stuffed
yeah.
animals.
She's like, I'm a ninja, and then something cute comes up, and she's like, weakness found. I'm gonna cuddle it. Yeah. No, like, I mean, we could go through all the like side characters. Like, obviously
Oh,
TK is the best, and then
Yeah.
it's just like Ira is good, and there's like Takamatsu, and then there's Matsushima, the
Yeah.
fifth.
Let's focus on the main
Yeah,
characters because
that's
there's way too many side
that's
characters.
what I was gonna say. Is like we could go through all of those, but like let's stick to the main cast.
so do we talk enough about Kanade though? Kanade
We haven't
Takahata
talked
Yeah,
about her much at all.
Angel.
Uh,
or
yeah,
Tenchi or
Kanade is well, she's very soft spoken and introverted, and most of the cast thinks that she's an angel, and and I guess it doesn't. It's not too much of a crime to do minor spoilers of a show that came out in 2010.
It's 10 years
Um,
old. We're good.
yeah.
10 years of all things.
She's she's not an angel. She's actually there for the same reasons that everyone else is there. It's because she was dissatisfied during her life, and she died and
it's not a
came to this world.
it's not a spoiler that she says that within the first 5 minutes of the show, and then no one listens.
Oh yeah, she does.
Yeah, they even bring
Um,
that up later, where it's like, I told you I'm not. Um, has anyone here seen the pet girl of Saru Shadu? It's this like anime about like a manga writer
I've
and
never
artist.
heard of it.
Um, the main character reminds me of that. Like she reminds me of the main character of that show, or like the main girl. Um, basically the show is about like this girl that is not functioning. Like she's autistic, and she's like an amazing artist, and then like wants to do like mangas and stuff, and then but like it's the same character traits where like you just kind of notice that like Angel's kind of autistic throughout the entire show.
I
Yeah,
named me some autistic
she
Kano, so
yeah she can't so she the only reason she's doing what she's doing is just because she's in the role of student council president. Um and they and she has very good fighting skills and all these powers that are programmed by a computer. Uh and the other and everyone is trying to fight her because they think she's answering directly to God. The reality is she's not, and she doesn't. sh- She's just doing what she's doing out of consequence rather than design.
Yeah, it's she's like seen as the enemy the entire time, even though she's not. She's just like, oh, I'm the student council president. I'm just kind of like living out my life, and she doesn't
and
really know what she's doing. And we never, I don't think we ever really get her backstory about like why she died. Wait, no, wait, we kind of did because we knew that the ending, so we know that she had surgery, but we don't know
I could
exactly why.
I would say that it's related to her heart to a heart condition.
Yeah, but that's all we would know.
But the thing about Kanade is that she is stupidly overpowered as hell. Like not
Yeah,
only not only does she take on a bunch of shadows single handedly, she's also oh my god
Well,
she can also phase herself out of how should I say this? She's bulletproof. She can fly. Regarding her angel wings superpower,
yeah. Well, here's the crazier thing to me was she had the program that like the I'm trying to think how much I can say without super spoilers that the guy who created the shadows had.
yeah,
So she had the same program, which would lead to how did she get that program? So it's kind of weird. And then she learned how to use the program, which means that she knew how to uh, like do like basic programming skills too. And then figured out like how to manipulate things around her, which that's just kind of impressive in itself. I think the only character we didn't touch out of the main would
we didn't
be
touch two of Hideki and Yuzuru.
oh yeah,
yeah.
yeah, the main character Yusuru.
Yeah, I was gonna say. So let's do Hideki first then, and then
Hmm.
Yuzuru
Yeah,
because like we'll end strong. Hideki, like he was the baseball guy, and he was like so nice, and like he was like one of the more caring people, and his life wasn't really even that bad. It was just like this one thing just troubled him to like death. Um, and like if I remember, was he the one that always had the gay jokes?
Yeah,
Yes.
he
Yeah.
was.
Okay. I was just making sure. I was like, I think like I always thought that that was it. Yeah.
That dude was
I don't swing that
super
way.
gay.
Are you sure you don't swing that way?
I
That dude
was
was
looking
super
forward to seeing
gay.
you. Are you sure you're not gay? I'm not gay. Yeah. Him.
Full homo, in denial.
No,
Well,
he's a bro.
you
He's a real
even
bro.
get like
I
a
swear to
you
God.
even get like visuals with like flowers and like sparkles all
yeah,
around
yeah.
him.
I was gonna say, I swear to God, like if I go on the internet and the Fujoshis have written fan fictions, I will. Wait, no, they probably have already.
Why
Yeah.
why are you even asking? Of course it's already written.
Hell,
Does the
good.
roll 34 and then roll
Oh yeah, no,
35. We don't need any like you don't need any more. Like it existed. Was there a character in the same show as someone else and could have they been gay together? Yes. Even if they were on screen together for 5 seconds? Yes, there is definitely fanfic of it. Just accept it.
yeah. And Fujoshis are like there's a slang attached to it.
Running
Calling them
girls.
rotten women, and it's like they really are rotten though because they've written fan fiction of Inuyasha and Sesshomaru, and it's like those are brothers. What the hell's wrong with you? So yeah, of
They've
course they'll
written
write fan.
worse. They've written
Yeah.
worse.
Oh
But yeah, let's just avoid that side of the internet and let's just keep going and talking about this.
Of course.
But yeah, Hideki was like he was like one of like the best supporting characters that had his development in the middle of the show and then he just continuously stayed at that like development point and it just like I feel like there could have been done like more done with him being that he was like more essential to the story but at the same time he was just really well done there's so many characters that his arc was just in the middle. That's it.
Yeah. All
All
right.
right.
Let's move on to
Yusuru
Yusuru.
Otanashi.
So Yusuru, he is the main character. He is the lead protagonist. And through him, through his eyes, you're introduced to the world and you learn everything there is to know about it. As he gains knowledge, the audience also gains knowledge for the most part. Um so we're really most of the show is through his eyes. It's almost first person in a way.
Yeah, I was gonna say that like he feels, and I don't want to say this is a bad thing, and because he's like this until about halfway, whenever his character development shows up, a little bit past halfway. Um, it's he feels like the protagonist in a harem where he's supposed to be a blank slate so that you can put yourself there. And while you're like putting yourself in his shoes, like you can see like these are kind of the decisions that you might make, where it would be kind of like video game esque of like these are the choices that would make the most sense. Um, and then that's how the story progresses until he gains his memory back, and then you get a completely different flip on the show where he's now like even though he was the main character, now he's actually an active part of the show rather than a like character that's the main that's getting dragged along. So that's one of the really interesting things about the pacing of the show is because you get him pushing it forward about 2/3 of the way through.
Yeah. Um
Oh,
Otherwise go ahead.
Yeah, I was gonna mention the fact that according to him, there wasn't any purpose or reason to keep on living, and then he considered and then it wasn't until later that he considers that maybe his sister Natsume was the reason why he needed a purpose in life.
Yeah.
So he becomes a doctor. He tries to be. Who goes to medical school. He wanted to be a doctor, but unfortunately, it doesn't really happen thanks to a train accident.
Yeah. I think his backstory, especially the first half of it, where his life is just a slog of going to work and then going home and rinse and repeat. I feel and he has like no inspiration or anything in life to look forward to. I think he's probably his backstory is probably the most relatable to a lot of people nowadays.
Yeah, just
Yeah,
like
and
that, like grind every day kind of. Yeah, he's definitely that.
uh, and even more thanks to a certain incident that's going on.
All right, well
Yeah.
let's keep the uh
Yes.
3D
Yes.
politics to a minimum,
Yeah.
Yes.
So
or a
Oh, yeah,
non-existent.
yeah, don't
no.
touch it.
I didn't even
Yeah.
realize what he just said, but yeah, no.
Yeah, I kind of zoned out for
I
a
was,
second because I was reading something else, so I don't even know what he said. But like, no 3D
He
politics.
didn't say he didn't mention anything in particular.
Okay. So
okay, good.
just,
Really
just
quick,
go ahead.
I just want to jump in. Yeah. So like when he was saying that, you know what I immediately thought when he was saying like, hey, I work and I all my money goes to rent and food, and then what little is left over I save up for my sister to get manga, and I'm just like, hey, I can relate to that because I also budget.
Yeah. And it was just like this. He was living for his sister. He was living to like make sure that he could see her smile and like all that. So yeah, he's he was like such a good character, and that's like his sister passes away, and then he's like, well, I have to find something else. He's like, I'm just gonna help people, and then he was going to school to become like a doctor, and just every single part of him was good. Like he was just a wholesomely good guy that died in a tragic way. Yeah.
Hmm.
Did
I,
he die of
Yeah,
blood loss or what?
um, he died from dehydration.
Oh fuck.
Yeah.
Hmm.
But but he does one last thing before he dies, and that is encourage people to become donors.
Yep. And then he's like, at least I know that I saved someone by doing that.
I forgot about the organ donor thing.
Yeah, he pretty much told everybody that if they don't survive, they should become organ donors. So at least they can live on through someone else.
I did find it strange that during that scene they just happened to have organ donor cards, every one of them.
I I know it's a thing in Japan. You're
I
supposed.
thought it was on the back of your ID in
Oh,
Japan. So
really?
it's yeah, like you circle it. You circle it on the back of your ID.
I see.
I think that that's how that worked, because his face was on the front, and then they had like his like information and stuff, and then he flipped it over, and it said circle here if you want to be an organ donor, and then it like circled the organs that you want donated.
I know that's what I'm doing when I renovate my driver's license.
Oh, if I ever if I ever go to Japan, I sure am not gonna circle my liver.
That's yeah. It can
um,
be donated to science.
yeah.
How did you survive? No,
But anyway, let's because we're starting to run out of time here.
yeah.
Let's move on to the plot.
Um, so I think just we can kind of talk vaguely here about just the idea of purgatory, and I think that this is a version of purgatory that was done really well.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
it puts all the characters into a situation that both the audience and the characters are immediately familiar with, and it sets it up in order for them to be able to just live out their life until they finally find what was missing and satisfy that so that they can move on to the next world. The purgatory aspect is done uh, quite well in that regard. It and it's not. I mean, it does use the cliche of like high school, um, but but the it doesn't feel cliche because of like how different it is from like they don't even go to class, and on top of that the school or the purgatory, you wouldn't expect purgatory to be a high school.
I just thought of this. Is it even an anime? Is it even a high school anime if there was no bathing suit scene?
Yeah, there was. All right, you know what? I want my money back.
Don't be
I need
episode. What the hell?
my fan service. All
We
right.
did get Yui trying to flirt with that one guy with blue hair. I forget his name. She's just like grabbing her I don't know what to call those, but yeah, her breasts, and she's like, "Have you seen these puppies go to work?" and,
And he's like, "You mean the non-existent things that are on your chest?" No.
and then she gets angry.
Yeah. Um. No. It was just. It's so well done though. It's just. I think the other thing is like, how many times have you seen a purgatory that is trying to get people to move on to their next life and not like as a punishment? This is like a reward for like, oh, like you died prematurely.
Yeah,
Um,
it's got the Buddhist idea of reincarnation as well as the Buddhist idea of purgatory. It's more that you're there to reflect on yourself, less
mhm.
so your punishment.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
this is like a redemption kind of thing, which I think is kind of like it's a different spin that I enjoy
Yeah.
because
I quite
yeah, go ahead.
yeah. I quite like a lot of the individual episodes and how they set up like operations and they and the they're essentially like they're trying to do something like it's some sort of special operations kind of thing, and in reality they're like just trying to steal meal tickets or something.
Yeah,
Basically,
I didn't
Operation
get that.
Tornado.
yeah. Basically,
Or parachute that freaked them out. Parachute,
Well,
opera.
well, and it was the same operations each time, so like you knew like before you knew what the operation was, like everyone else already knew, and then you find out that they keep using the same name over and over again. So Operation Tornado was anytime they were stealing the meal tickets, so it was sucked up like a tornado effect. Operation Parachute was anytime they were going back into their guild. Um, so and then like what was the one? It was the fishing one. Operation like Sea Monster or something was just like, oh, they're going fishing. Like
Yeah.
yeah, each one was supposed to be ridiculous for that reason. Because it's
Yeah.
like, oh no, not this again, and it's like, oh, we're just going into the guild. Well, why is that bad? Oh, because we set up our own traps to kill like us and stop Angel, and it's like these are set up to
oh,
kill you, not Angel. Angel will get through these in a second.
Yeah.
oh, oh.
Really quick,
They even
wait,
had
wait,
like
wait. I need to ask something before you guys go forward. Meal tickets. Why the heck did you need those meal tickets? Can't they get their own?
They have no money.
Oh,
Yeah, basically.
They can't die, so like they can't starve to death. So it's weird because I think if they went to class, the teachers would give them things and like they would have certain things. But because they aren't going
allowance.
to
Yeah.
yeah, but because they aren't getting the allowance, they have to steal everything.
now that I think about it, there is one episode where let's just say it's from one of the extra episodes, and you can actually die from starvation in that world.
You know, I was just thinking just now if if they can make all these weapons uh basically out of dirt
Hmm.
and their imagination,
Mhm.
why can't they just do that with meal tickets?
Yeah, very
That's
much
a
a
good
pick.
point. I mean, they built a friggin' like heavy rocket engine,
Yeah.
a, a failed tank,
A
with
bunch
cannon,
of
yeah, a failed
fucking
cannon.
AK-47s and shit. But the kid make their own meal tickets. What kind of bullshit is that?
I mean, they have to have a reason for, you know, having the ban. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, that is one of the more interesting things about they didn't like make a rock band just to like make a rock band. Or okay, I can imagine the people that created the show, they wanted a rock band in there,
Yeah.
uh, and they did build something around it. But what they're doing with the rock band in the show is pretty clever. They're using it as a distraction for their operations. Basically, rock band makes a lot of noise. Rock band gathers all the NPCs into one area. Rock Band grabs the attention of Angel and
Now they can do
allows
whatever they
them
need
to.
to.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
One of the other amazing parts of it was like, and this is like one of my favorite lines was Yuri was like, she's like, why do I have to go do this? And they're like, you're part of the distraction team. She's like, what? I just wanted to play in the band. They're like, well, you're part of the distraction team. Go distract. And they're like, ah. uh,
They're like, did you not realize that the band was there to distract?
she's like, but I just wanted to be part of the band team. Nope, all distractions. All distractions fall into you. Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
she
So
yeah she definitely idolized the rock band. So that's all she really thought about when she signed up for it.
yeah, I think that covers all the plot that we really need to go
How many
into.
more minutes do we have?
Uh, we're
Uh,
we're good.
we could go for. I mean, uh, I mean
We're at an hour, but
we're yeah, we're at an hour. We could go a little longer, but I
mhm.
think honestly there's just not much to pick at with this show.
Yeah, it
It's just
it's very solid. It doesn't have much filler. It doesn't have many side things and side tangents to go down. It was a very linear story that was again very well done.
You know
So
what's interesting? Um, the soundtrack has a couple of the songs have two versions. They have the Iwasawa's version, which is Marina, uh, and then we have Yui's version, which who was played by what
Lisa,
like yeah, Lisa had was her singing voice. Eri Kitamura was her voice actress
yeah.
in the same.
did they translate the songs for the English version?
No. Um,
Okay.
yeah. So the other thing that was really cool about it, and the reason why they had two versions, uh, the rock band played both versions with the different
Mhm.
singers, and the different singers actually had a couple different lines throughout some of the songs too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So, yeah. So like my song is sang a little different. So like the one that you heard in the show was that very slow all acoustic, but
Hmm.
the one that was done by uh I'm gonna keep messing up their names. Um, Lisa. That one is actually a full rock version where like the beginning is all acoustic, and then the second
Hmm.
it goes into the first chorus, the entire rock band comes in, drum set, everything. So, and it completely changes the tone of the song. So,
Yeah. Um. Yeah. I was just wondering because what was it called? Bubblegum Crisis. Like translated all the songs.
So I will
Uh,
I will confess to I had an anime rock band whenever I was in high school. And we covered Crow Song and Alchemy, and we did our own English translation, and that was actually very difficult whenever we were doing it. So
yeah, I
Yeah, translating a Japanese song is not as simple as translating a song from Spanish to English.
yeah, because there's a lot different word. Yeah,
yeah,
Reference.
yeah, it
I
was
do
incredibly difficult. But yeah, go ahead.
I do remember it being very well done in Bubblegum Crisis, though there's no CD of the English versions of the songs, unfortunately.
Yeah,
You
But that's Bubblegum Crisis, so
that's different beast
you know
altogether.
what?
And
something we should definitely cover at some
yeah,
point.
uh,
Yep.
and the other thing is, it's like to get an English rock singer, I guess, like two female English rock singers to cover a Japanese song. Like, first off, like think how much that would cost. And then second off, it's like they already hired two, well, one super well known and one rising star for this one anime. Like that cost had to be intense. To do that for the dub too would have just goodbye budget, you know. So
Yeah.
Yeah. You know what? You know what's interesting regarding regarding the budget? These are the same voice actors that as Clannad for the most part.
yeah, a
A
lot of
lot of
them.
the voice actors are also were also on Clannad.
Yeah,
And then we had the, and like I mentioned before, the fact that the composer and writer of Planet also worked on this.
yeah. Okay,
All right.
so
Let's all give our final takes and ratings. Why don't you start, Josh?
so man, this is one of my favorite animes of all time. Like, it's been the one that stuck with me the most. It was the one that like my anime band covered the most songs from. It was just, oh my god, like it was a very influential thing in my life. So rewatching it, there were things that I missed, like the first couple times, and like the older I became, like the more things kind of like linked up and made sense, I'll say. And it's just, it's so well done. It's so short, where it's 13 episodes. Um, there's a bunch of characters that all just kind of come together. It feels like a group, and you don't get to know all the characters that well, but at the same time, you still feel like you know them because their personalities are so well done. The storyline is interesting. The concept is interesting. It's fast enough pace that keeps you going. It has some of the best comedic aspects that I've seen in an anime, that still has very serious tones in it. So it ranges well in emotions. Just every single part of this anime I love. Um, I don't think I can give it a perfect score because I don't think there's ever an anime that could absolutely get a perfect score. Um, so I'm gonna have to give it a 9.5.
All right.
Outside the nostalgia factor, you're smoking crack. But uh, but yeah, I thought it's a trope at this point. I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I'm not very optimistic when it comes to most anime these days, and I'm also very narrow minded regarding what I want to watch. But I actually thought I was gonna despise the show because of the tried and true high school bullshit plot. Yeah, like there's lack of originality there. No, I mean come on, seriously. I need something a bit different. But that being said, Angel Beats was a test in itself. the ending.
All right, what's your final score?
Well, let him get
Oh,
there.
Sorry, Josh. I know Josh's score was 9.5. So I'm gonna be real with you guys. There were days I didn't want to watch it, but it actually changed my mind. Just watching a couple of the episodes, especially episode 5. My God, the comedic timing was ridiculous. Like all the stuff that happens, like all these people killing each other. Yuri was right. There are a bunch of dumbasses for real, and the soundtrack's great. The plot is actually really good. I honestly enjoyed it. The OBAs are absolutely insane. You guys should totally check them out if you haven't.
Totally forgot about this.
Yeah. The two OBAs. One of them is the origin of Girls That Monster, and the other one is basically the mother of both tension meters. Like you're 30 minutes of being tense, and they're just being hyped and ridiculous. But yeah, the ending was absolutely brutal. I haven't seen an anime with an ending this brutal since Clanad. Considering it's written by the same dude. This is an 8.5. Really. Well, not all the songs are great, but this is an 8.5. Really, like Josh said, it's also a severely underrated anime. And not many people actually talk about it.
All right.
So Angel Beats by Dad gets an 8.5. I was gonna originally rate it a 7.5, but a couple of the episodes pretty much increased the score. So, RJ, you know what to do.
8. 8. Just an 8 because yeah, I liked it until the last few episodes because I guess it subverted my expectations, but when that happens, I usually don't like it. So I was gonna give it an 8. I would have given it an 8.5, but now 8.
All right.
7's too low. I think for me, 8's a fair price.
All right. Do you have any takes?
Yeah. So I liked some of the soundtrack. I liked everything up to the last few episodes because I was like, oh, cool. There's a mystery going on. And then it turned into freaking Kingdom Hearts. The Heartless and the Shadow. Just joking.
That's why I liked it so much. Hold on.
That's why I hated it so much. I mean, heck, do you want me to make an AMV to the theme song of Kingdom Heart 1? Like what was it? Something hear me say, "Oh baby,
Yeah.
please don't go."
So
don't do
TK's the one that's falling out of the window that starts the song, right? Anyway.
All right.
All right.
Yeah, so because of that, I guess 8. Just I was as I told you guys before the stream started, it gave off very strong Shin Megami Tensei / Persona vibes, which is perfect because next month October tomorrow, I guess. Yeah, so October month is going to be that, but either way, I was like, oh cool, this is.
What are you talking about?
Oh wait,
You're skipping an
I'm
entire
sorry.
month.
Yeah, I guess technically, yeah. If time zones, yeah, never mind. October is gonna be Shin Megami Tensei month. But anyways, yeah, I got Shin Megami Tensei vibes from it, and then I got Persona vibes from it, and then all of a sudden it goes, no, don't go. Everyone starts disappearing. The Heartless and the Shadows and the Nobodies. Just no, I can't. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Will.
All right. So first, I'd like to respond to Josh's comment about no anime is ever perfect or anything like that. I think Josh, I get the impression you were avoiding the 10 out of 10 rating because you don't see it as perfect.
There's a few things that I saw wrong with it. But they're very small issues.
Yeah.
But
I
so like
would
there's nothing
say
that I would say would be an absolute like 10 out of 10. Like you could hit like a 9.9, but you can always find fault in something. There's always
Yeah.
something a little
I,
bit
I,
off.
I would say 10 out of 10 rating is not. I personally disagree with the idea that it describes something that's perfect. Instead, I would describe 10 out of 10 as a masterpiece and beyond masterpiece.
Yeah. I
So something like Citizen Kane or something like that.
I guess the way that I look at it is and just to kind of put it I rank things not just by like like a 10 out of 10 like score. I'll look at it like what was the visual, and if that's like a 9 and then like all the rest are 10s, that's still a 9.5 to me. um
I see.
so like because the visuals in this were a little bit lacking in some points, because um there were issues where while I enjoyed the music, I could tell that like some of the background needed fixed up a little bit. There were a couple audio cue issues, and I can overlook most of that. I can still see those
Yeah,
issues that make it just barely fall short, where I can't call it a masterpiece, but I can call it the next best thing.
I see.
Um, yeah,
That's
like
fair enough.
we always talk about what was the show? Garden or Violet Evergarden as like 10 out of 10 for the visuals. That's masterpiece.
Yeah.
If it's falling short of that, then I can't give it a 10 because it's still a little short.
I
That's all.
think I think you actually put more thought into rating than I do then.
Yeah, I do.
All right. Anyway,
Go ahead.
I'll take the L there. Uh so as far as this show goes, as far as Angel Beats go, um you know, it does have like the look and feel of a 2000s anime. You know, it is 2010, but we weren't quite at like the sort of modern trope of like so much isekai and just the explosion of studios and the rise of seasonal anime and all of that. Uh, I don't. I think Crunchyroll might have even still have been a pirate site back then.
It, so
It
2010,
was. It was
yeah,
actually.
it was a pirate site slash you could play like those really stupid flash games on it.
Yeah. Um. But anyway, it does have like the visuals of that. I mentioned sound effects not being quite up to snuff. Uh, I can't think of what a single gun in the show sounds like, but I can remember what every gun in a movie called The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly sounds like, or the gun at the end of the first episode of Cowboy Bebop when what's her face shoots Asimov. Um, that I can hear that in my head. Um,
Uh,
the the animation, it's good. Backgrounds, they're fine. Uh, a little underwhelming, but that's due to the setting. It's a high school.
well,
Um,
with
hey, hold on.
yes.
Let him talk.
Um, the the characters, top notch. Uh, great, great cast. Music, top notch. Great music. Um, the plot, uh, I actually tried to predict the plot earlier in the month, and looking back, it's shocking just how far off I was. And not only did it fool me, it was more or less completely consistent when it did fool me. Like I only found one plot hole that wasn't even a big deal. Like the whole why don't they just make the tickets? If they can make guns, why not make tickets? But that's not really a big deal, and maybe there's an argument against it. But the ending, completely satisfactory, I'd say. So I'd give this solid 9 out of 10. It's very good. Go watch it. It's a must see. All right.
Um,
So
All right, so our average score is an 8.75. Which,
all right.
let's see here.
can I mention something real quick?
Let me find the
Yeah.
scores really fast. Okay, so the AML score is an 8.2 and the IMBD is a 7.7. But Crunchyroll gives a 4.7 out of
Yeah.
5, so just kind of do that.
Yeah.
And then the other part is, and I know that we were saying that it was a very underrated, a lot of people don't talk about an anime. I would say there's a generation that really like it, and if you look at the AML, it's ranked 317, which is pretty high up there, but the popularity is 12. So it is a very popular anime. It's just not one that many people talk about for some reason.
Well, we've had about 10 years of being buried in constant seasonal anime, so
Yeah,
that might have something to do with it.
yeah, probably. So, um, yeah, no, it's. I think that's one of the higher scores that we've given it, and given that RJ just the entire reason he didn't like it was the ending, um,
Yeah.
that says a
I
lot.
don't like Kingdom Hearts.
What did you have to say, Lewis?
I was gonna say that it's made by the same animation studio that made Clannad, the Studio Key,
Yeah.
as well as Canon and the Little
That
Plus.
explains the eyes.
Yep.
Yeah.
They
And
draw eyes funny.
They do.
Yeah.
I knew something looked familiar, and yeah, it was from the same people who did Canon, Air, Clannad, and Little Busters as well.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
yeah, I think that pretty much sums it up, though. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks to everyone
Why
for
don't
watching.
we yeah. Everyone have a good night. Have a good next month.
Stay healthy.
Yeah.
Do we know what we're covering next month?
Stay alive.
So I we might change it. So we're gonna talk about that right now. It's gonna be either the one that we already had planned, or we kind of might need to talk about the one that's more controversial that keeps coming up.
What's the controversial one?
Uh,
Are we off the air right now?
no. So